So, sir, my first question is like, what inspired you to become an actor, sir? Was there a play or was there a film that attracted you?
Yeah, so mostly my exposure to acting was only through cinema, mostly cinema and television, and like as far as far back as I can go and remember, like I've always been interested into acting and all. Somehow, like that what I used to see on television or on the big screen. So I wanted to be part of that. I wanted to be inside the television set, inside the screen, and replicate what exactly they were doing. So that's how, and because I didn't have any kind of background, family background. Nobody in my family comes from films as such. So I didn't know much about it. So whatever I used to see on screen, I used to feel like an actor is singing also, dancing also, performing also, saying those lines and all of that. So I used to feel that you need to be equipped with all these qualities if you want to be an actor. So yeah, so I picked up from there, and I'm able to. I can sing a bit, I can dance a bit, मैं सब कुछ कर सकता हूँ सब. And when I grew up, I realized this is just one department of it. And so yeah, always wanted to be an actor. It was always somewhere, but because of the kind of backgrounds you and I come from, and most of the people in our country come from, we don't have. It's not a very respectable and very lucrative profession that you go for, or the family would encourage you to go for. So it was always there, taking a back seat, always there along with me. And that's when I, in school, I think in ninth grade, I did my first play. And I'll always be indebted to my teacher, Mrs. Shom, my English teacher. uh, yeah, she really encouraged me, and from there on, I kind of picked up, and then I did engineering, and I did engineering from Pune, and the reason to move to Pune was also it'll be closer to Mumbai, and so I became part of the college dramatics team. But I think I was in my first year, second year when I had come home, so I went to NSD, and that's when I saw a play, and the entire uh, environment that's there, you find in Mandi House and NSD and all. So that kind of intrigued me. Somehow I used to feel that I belong to this world. I don't know why. This feeling was always there, and that's when I joined a professional theatre group in Pune. It's called Swatantra Theatre. At that point in time, it was the only Hindi theatre group. So our director, Mr. Abhijit Chaudhary, I mean, he again encouraged me a lot, and I did. Uh, I think I must have done almost more than 500 street plays, like shows of street plays all across Pune and all, and full length plays and all of that. So I was associated with them for almost 2.5 years. That's when I moved to Mumbai. Yeah.
So, what was the parents' reaction when you said you want to become an actor?
My family's reaction. So they always knew, and how there's always this balance of a good cop, bad cop. So I think my mother was more interested. Like as a kid, I remember having these conversations, or hearing from her that she was part of a very amateurish theater group, or she did one play or two plays. ऐसा कुछ थोड़ा बहुत था. And also, like I have this vivid memory that she'd be watching these movies starring Smita Patil, Nasruddin Shah, Shaban Azmi, and all. And so that wouldn't interest me back then. I was more interested in maybe a Shah Rukh Khan movie and all. So that used to interest me, but that never interested me. And I, honestly speaking, back then I disliked all these actors because they were not able to engage the child that was me. It was much later when I started doing theaters, when I started understanding what the societal conflicts are there and what adults go through and all. Because plays may, mostly those are the things you're talking about. And that's when I started delving deeper into it, and I realized what these masters are, what they have done. So somehow this was there, like from my mother's side was always there, and my brother and my mother, they were my biggest cheerleaders back then. My father, he never expressed, but yeah, his thing was okay, focus on studies first, all of this. So when I would participate in my college, when we would participate in all the national level dramatics competitions and all. So we would win prizes, certificates, all of this. Sometimes we would get featured in newspapers also. So that didn't do much to me because I was more happy just doing it. But yeah, I would get all of these things home, show it to them. So they had an idea that this is what interests him, but he's also pursuing engineering. And so yeah, by the time I was done with engineering, I was already, as I told you, part of the dramatics team. I was doing theater with a group, and I also worked. Like I got placed in college, and I worked in a company, in a logistics company for 2 months and 7 days to be specific. Eighth day, I just put my papers, because by then I already had a routine. In the morning when we had a play coming up, in the morning at 6 I used to go to the theater for rehearsals, then come back at 9:30 and attend college. Then 5:30 again I would go back to attend my rehearsals and all. So yeah, that was my routine. When I started working, then suddenly all of this stopped, and I was suddenly doing something that didn't interest me. And yeah, that was the toughest period, those 2 months. So by then I kind of confided in my brother, okay, I think I should go for it now. So he conveyed it to my parents, and my parents were supportive then. Yeah.
Then how did you find Mumbai? Go to Mumbai and find your first job. How difficult it was?
My first job. So I came to Mumbai on, like, by the time I was done with engineering and all, there was a kind of saturation that I had reached in Pune in terms of like everything. Suddenly, all my batchmates, everybody had left Pune, everybody had passed out. So I was very eager to move to Mumbai. So I didn't want to waste much time. So instead of waiting for 2015, I just moved to Mumbai on 29th of December, 2 days before like 2015. Like I'm not going to wait for another like any second more. So yeah, 29th of December I moved to Mumbai 2014, and I landed my first job exactly 4 months later. 29th of March I was shooting for my first advertisement. Yeah, it was a blink and miss appearance, but yeah, I got paid handsomely. Like I was paid decently, and yeah, that was my first shoot. But from there on till now, the journey has been like, huh, yeah. I mean, just to put it in words, I mean it would be like difficult, but a lot of learning, a lot of highs, lows, and still kind of going on and evolving with time. Yeah.
You've also done a lot of TV series. So what was your experience in that?
TV serials.
Yes.
So TV serial, yeah, honestly speaking, the one that I'd consider was a show that I got in 2018. It was called Baaji, which released on Zee Marathi channel. So that experience was very good because unlike television, we did a workshop for 1 month. Yeah. It was a passion project for the producer director, Mr. Santosh Kole. So yeah, he was very keen about it. He got instructors from, he got like people from NSD who would conduct workshops and all, and it went on for 1 month, which doesn't happen in television. And the script, it was a bound script. Like we knew right from day one what the last episode is going to be. So it was 100 episoder on paper, which got spilled because of the length of the episode and became 135 episodes. But yeah, and we shot it all across Maharashtra, Satara, Bhor, lot of other places, and we also did a massive schedule in Mumbai, SL Studios and Film City and all. So that experience was really, really good. So I played the antagonist in the show, and the entire process, I was involved in everything, right from the time I was cast till the release, post-release also, because we were shooting after that also. So it was a great 8 month period that I shot for that show. And post that, I haven't really done anything on television. I did get offered something on the same channel, but by then uh, I had a great experience, and the reach of television is massive because I would get DMs from interiors of Maharashtra and all. But that's about it, because if you're part of a regional channel, the reach is only till that region, or most of the viewership comes from that region only. So I did get offered another show, but I kind of was doing a play back then, so I wanted to concentrate on that. So yeah. So post that I haven't done television as such, but with the advent of digital, I've done a lot of work on digital. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about Family Aaj Kal, which you have done. So,
Yeah.
how did you? What was your audition process? How did you find it? What was the experience in that?
So the company Civic Studios that has produced Family Aaj Kal, I have been associated with them since I think 2021. So there was a channel that they used to run on YouTube where they would make short form content. The channel was called Pocket Change. It's still there, but it's been acquired by another company now. And we made some really amazing content. So I was working with them as an in-house talent. Yeah. So, and I worked with them for almost like 2 years and all before this acquisition happened. And yeah, so we made some really amazing contents, which had a couple of, I mean, you can still check it out. It's called Pocket Change. It's still there on YouTube. We made a couple of short films, sketches, parodies. We made mini series just for YouTube. Uh, so yeah, I mean, initially I would audition for even the smallest of parts that I would get offered, because of course, and by the time it came to Family Aaj Kal, I'd worked with them a lot, and they had that kind of confidence. And the director, I'd worked with him. The makers were the same. So yeah, it kind of I became an organic choice for them. So it was all organic for me, getting cast, becoming part of this show. So yeah, so I fortunately I didn't audition for Family Aaj Kal. Yeah, which is pretty ironic because for such a show, because initially the show was also made for YouTube. Yeah, but after it got made, they started pitching it. SonyLIV liked the show, they acquired the show and released it as SonyLIV Originals. So yeah, I'm really glad this happened. But yeah, I didn't audition for Family Aaj Kal.
How many days were the shooting days? How many days were you there?
Uh, I think the uh, total number of shooting days for the show was about 12 or 13 days. Yeah. I mean, they did an efficient job and a really wonderful job. Like everybody, like technical team and everybody who's involved. And I shot for almost like 7 days, I guess. Yeah.
Now let's talk about Full and Final, a short film which will be screened in New York Indian Film Festival.
Yeah.
So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
So how did you get the project? Like,
Yeah.
what?
So the writer, director, producer of Full and Final is Sohit Khanna, who has now become a very, very dear friend. So I met Sohit for the first time because he had written uh, again a mini series that we were making for Pocket Change. So he was a writer on it. It was called Bharat Nagar Diaries. So he was a writer on the series, and yeah, but then uh, he discontinued with it. There was another writer doing it, but yeah, I like briefly met him around that time when we were shooting for the first episode, I guess. And then he was making this short film. He was planning this short film, and I got a call from him, and he said, "Okay, yeah, I've been," because he was following what was happening on Pocket Change and all. So he said, "I've been watching what you have been doing, and I really feel that you have a range and all, and I really like what you are doing, and I would like to offer you this part in a short film that I'm making." So we met and we discussed. I really liked like his what his thought process is like and what his influences are like, and the kind of uh, I mean the format this short film has, and the way he wanted to treat it. So it's a dark comedy space. It's in dark comedy space, and yeah, so that I found a bit challenging. It's something new because I've been part of a lot of short films, But mostly, when in our country, when mostly people uh, set out to make short films and all, mostly they focus on some social subject, or something like very very dark in a very intense space. So I found Sohit's sensibility is very different, and also the influences, the references he showed me, and he, from the performance point of view also, and just to understand the space that we were trying to create. So yeah, that was really interesting, and I'm really glad to be part of it. And the shooting process also, like, it was one of the most very easygoing set, and I think a set's atmosphere is set by the director, and it trickles down from what the tone that is set by the director, and it was very easygoing set. And the co-actors, Tuhina Vora, who's been she's been such a experienced actor. We have seen her on television for the longest time, and she's really incredible. And she was also like, the part that she's playing is also a bit very different from what she has done so far. So she was also very keen on doing this, and yeah, so the process that we followed, it was, I mean, the entire experience was like, I'm really glad I'm part of it, and I got Sohit as a friend now. He's a very dear friend, and we keep discussing what we want to do next, and about movies in general. And so we are really glad. So this was shot sometime last year, early last year, or I guess late 2022, and it has been doing festival rounds. And with this kind of selection, official selection by New York Indian Film Festival, it's this is really incredible, because the festival has some kind of credibility. Because otherwise, there are a lot of festivals nowadays, but this is special.
So, like, if somebody wants to come in Mumbai and want to become an actor, like, what advice would you give to them? Like, what qualities should they have?
Yeah, honestly, I refrain from giving any advice, because I myself have been ill-advised by so many people, and I think everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own likings and their own aspirations. Because I also, when I came to the city, I had very very different aspirations. Some of it, I guess, still retains. I still retain it. It still persists. A bit of it has changed, because with time you evolve, your tastes change, and the kind of, as I told you, I came in 2015. Since then, the filmmaking has also changed drastically. Uh, and also with the advent of streaming platforms and all, a lot has changed. So now, yeah, my focus has also kind of changed. My tastes have changed. The kind of work I would want to do has changed. So yeah, mostly I refrain from giving advice, because everybody has to navigate their own path. But if you want to be an actor, I think you should have done a bit of, you should have a bit of acting experience. And according to me, I think theater is the best place where you should kind of practice this art. Because I myself, again, I have done theater, so I'm saying everybody should do theater. But I think the kind of experimentation that you can do there, because the cost of failure is very less. Otherwise, if you just rely on learning on job, it's a very expensive medium, right? Filmmaking and all. Like, a lot of actors do, but again, I mean, uh, it's not hard and fast that everybody should do it. There are a lot of actors who have never done theater, but they do incredible work as far as acting is concerned. So, but yeah, my advice would be you should come with a certain kind of experience, acting experience, uh, an understanding of the craft, and also be very specific about the medium that you want to work in. Although acting remains acting in any medium you work, but like, if I say, because I experienced it myself, theater is an actor's medium. The driving, uh, the entire medium is driven by an actor, mostly. Again, not hard and fast rule. But when it comes to film medium, or screen acting, this medium is driven by the director. It's a director's medium, and there are so many departments involved. And acting department remains just a cog in the entire machinery, in the wheel. So you have to understand what's the importance of acting in this particular medium. You have to understand medium. So you should have that kind of understanding. I think that you learn also with time. And other than that, what else? Uh, yeah, mostly an understanding of the craft, and also I think because uh, the first thing is when you land in Mumbai, you start going to all the casting directors and all. You start sharing your profiles. You start doing your rounds, going from door to door, knocking the doors, checking with them if I fit or not. So earlier, I think pre-pandemic, the scenario was a bit different, where mostly there's a place called Aram Nagar in Warsaw in Mumbai where all the auditions happen. So most of the ad auditions used to happen there. Now even that has changed. There used to be very small studios, and you stand in a queue, you check if you fit or not. Then just by looking at your face, they tell you you fit, you don't fit. So yeah, that's a bit. That has changed post pandemic, because now you are required to just record the audition from your home and share it. So in a way, you need or need not be in Mumbai also. But since a lot of shoots happen in Mumbai, so yeah, you kind of have to be there in Mumbai. But now you see a lot of actors are being cast from other places also, all across India, because they bring the authenticity with them. If you have to cast somebody from Punjab, you'd rather go to Punjab and find actors from there. And this is what a lot of production houses also do. So I think I also so yeah, as I was saying, you go from door to door, and mostly actors don't know much about the industry, so you are just trying to become part of all those big productions and all. So again, depending on what kind of work you want to do. So I in the past have been offered uh, you know the secondary parts and all those big budgets and all, but somehow it's not that I refused, but somehow it didn't materialize also, and I didn't want to do that also, because as I told you, like having come from theater, on my first shoot I realized that in this medium, if you have done a lot of theater where there's a lot of participation, everybody comes together and participates. So that kind of participation is not there. Till the time you are not doing that kind of part, a very prominent part, which contributes to the main narrative. Otherwise, you are mostly waiting, sitting in the vanity, waiting for your chance, and you come and you say a one line or two line, and then you go back. So I think actors should also have a mindset of a creator. If that helps in your acting also. If you kind of explore writing, that helps you with your acting also. And if you also that's what I'm saying, actors also need to be flexible, and they need to expand their horizon, and should explore other departments also, or at least try and get in touch with the upcoming filmmakers or upcoming writers, you know who who are trying to set up their projects, and you get to participate in their projects, where you'll be part of the bigger you'll be a bigger part of the narrative, or maybe get to do bigger parts or important parts. And because if you see all the outsiders who have come today doing like some amazing work in mainstream, in big production house, in big production movies, they kind of started somewhere from an independent kind of cinema, working with independent set of people. And somehow those movies were great, those filmmakers were great. So those actors also got to play some really interesting parts. And that entire setup became big, or the movies became really big or known. So it's a win-win for an actor if you kind of come from that kind of setup. So I think But yeah, it's again easier said than done. It's not. I mean, it takes some time to kind of understand how it functions. But yeah, that should be the focus of an actor, according to me. Yeah.
So when a script comes to you, how do you approach a character? Like, what's your acting process?
Yeah. Every script comes with a, or every character comes with a different kind of process, you know. And like if I have to give you an example, Parikshit Joshi, who's the director of Family Aaj Kal, so I've worked with him before also, and on one of the episodes that we were working on, so he came up with this process for some other series which was for YouTube only. So the process came from the director. He said, "Okay, I am planning to do something different this time. I don't want to give you scripts beforehand. I want to experiment. So I don't want to give you script beforehand. On the set, we'll be shooting it linearly, and with every upcoming scene, I'll be handing you the script. You read the script. You don't have much time to prepare, and we directly shoot it. We take some time to shoot it. After we are done with the shoot, we move on to the next scene. You get handed over the script for the second scene, and that's when we shoot it. So yeah, I mean that's also a process, but this process comes from the director, and he asks if you all are okay to participate. Otherwise, we can do the regular thing also. I can give you the entire script right away, and you can prepare, and we can shoot it later on. But all the actors were like eager to do something different or experiment, so it happened like that. And so yeah, every script, every character comes with its own process. You are just trying to uh, reach the character or reach a space where you feel confident with the character. So how? So it's, I mean, it's never easy. I mean, till the time you don't land up on the set, you just get done with the scene. Till the time you are only thinking, I mean, how to make it better or how to get hold of the character and all. But some things come easy, some things don't come easy. Some characters are very far away from your real personality, and so you kind of figure out ways how to approach it. Uh, some characters come with a different kind of physicality from yours, so that demands different kind of uh, preparation, which is mostly physical. But yeah, that's also kind of part of preparation only. Or where you have to do something with your accent, something with the language, something with the dialogue delivery. So every character comes with different kind of challenges, or yeah. So it depends.
So if you could recommend few films, your favorite films and filmmakers.
Favorite films and filmmakers. Yeah, so many of them, so many of them. But where do I start from? Indian films, or
It's a list. Your list.
okay, okay, my list. Uh, so yeah, I kind of I somewhere I'm an old soul, uh, and a very old school kind of personality also. So somewhere I kind of relate to the kind of films that were made in the 40s, 50s, the classics from that time, and 80s and all. So yeah, I think the films that Brando did with Alia Kazan, and otherwise also, like Streetcar Named Desire, which is based on a play, or on the waterfront and all. Mm, and in India also, like I've seen movies from the 40s and all. Uh, what Mehboob Khan used to make, early work of Mr. Dilip Kumar. I'm really fond of that. And then moving to uh, the during the 70s, 80s, when this parallel movement was going on, you know, both in the West and in India also, when makers like Scorsese, Coppola, and all these came up. They made some really great movies, and they redefined what Hollywood was, and what like before that was. And in India or in Hindi films in particular, uh, what Mr. Sham Benegal and all were doing, and the kind of films. And again, one of my favorite filmmakers from that era, from the 80s, is Sai Paranjpe. She was one of the very few existing female directors back then, but she is at par with any other filmmaker. And one of my favorite movies from that era is Katha Sparsh, which featured Mr. Nasruddin Shah, Farooq Sheikh, and all. I really liked that space. And then, uh, because I grew up in the 90s, so at that time your exposure mostly is to you are exposed to the mainstream Hindi films and all. So I I I mean, typically, yeah, the Bazigar Dars and DDLJs. I really like that stuff. And much later, I think around 2011 or 2012, when I was making uh, a transition from a school dramatics team, college dramatics team, to a professional theater group. And there was a lot of confusion back then. I was pursuing engineering and all, but also thinking at the same time, what should I do? I was interested into acting and all, and I stumbled upon this interview by I mean, Mr. Irfan Khan was giving this interview, and his suddenly, like that kind of changed something in me. I mean, the kind of things that he was talking about, the craft, which I had no idea about. He was talking about filmmaking, the kind of work he would want to do. That kind of changed everything for me. So from there on, my interest drifted towards the not exactly like this. I'm telling you from the actor's point of view. मैं film की बात में I'm not naming you too many. I'm not giving you too many films. I know, but yeah. So yeah, around that time. So if you're talking about Mr. Irfan, let's talk about his filmography only. Like the kind of range you see, around that time, Pan Singh Tomar came. That kind of just blew me, like blew my head. What is it? Yeah, क्या performance है, क्या range है. And then I started watching a lot of his other stuff and what he has done in the Lunchbox, what he has done in the Namesake. So yeah, so I kind of aspire to bring in that kind of range. And then Anurag Kashyap's Black Friday is my favorite. Gangs of Wasseypur is definitely there. And around that time only, I stumbled upon Daniel Lewis's work also. And you read about him, the kind of process he goes through for each of his films. And then there are a lot of shows that I've been watching. Mm, so yeah, I'm not able to recollect. There are so many films that have kind of influenced me. Uh, so yeah, I'll probably think about it and yeah, tell you sometime later. Yeah, but yeah, there's nothing, or something of this genre or of this particular genre. It's like scattered all over. Yeah. Anything that kind of interests you, I into it, and I pick something from it, and you aspire to do something of the similar zone.
So my last question is, like, you are doing any other future projects right now?
Any feature projects?
Future
Future
projects.
projects. Yeah, there are something, few things. I mean, one, I've shot for a couple of things which I can't talk about right now, and which will be releasing soon. When I can't really commit, like I'm not aware myself only. So yeah, there are few things. There are some things that I'm trying to create on my own, or kind of collaborate with friends, and then I'm also involved into writing and all. There's yeah, for long format, I'm kind of collaborating with. Kind of creating something. So let's see when it sees the light of the day. Yeah, it should hopefully. So yeah, there are a couple of things, but yeah, right now I'm really glad like Family Aaj Kal and this short film of ours has and ironically both of them were shot around the same time only. Yeah, so there was this long wait, but yeah, somehow I'm really happy it finally released and the kind of reactions. Have you seen the show?
Yes, yes,
How do you like?
absolutely. I like it. Yeah,
Nice,
but
nice.
I'm really excited for the short film as well.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hope, I
yeah.
hope, I hope
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
see soon.
Hopefully, we'll kind of try and release it after it's done with the entire festival round and all.